A man sat in chains only hours from execution. The guards expected anger, fear, or silence. But his final request left them speechless. He didn't ask for food, freedom, or forgiveness. He asked to see his dog. When the animal was brought in, the prison fell silent. The dog's reaction stunned everyone. First barking and growling, then refusing to leave his side. Moments later, the truth behind the crime began to unravel, buried for years. What happened next shocked the guards, stunned the witnesses, and spread across the world. This was no ordinary last wish. It was a story that changed everything. Before we start, make sure to hit like, share, and subscribe. And really, I'm curious, where are you watching from? Drop your country name in the comments. I love seeing how far our stories travel. The prison was silent that night, heavier than usual. The guards moved slowly, their boots echoing against the cold floor. Everyone inside knew what day it was. The day marked for one man's final walk. Behind the iron bars in a dimly lit cell sat Daniel, a prisoner waiting for execution. He didn't pace the room like others might. He didn't scream or beg. He just sat on the small wooden bed, his hands folded, his eyes staring at the floor. Hours felt like minutes, and each tick of the clock reminded him that time was slipping away. Finally, a guard arrived outside his cell. His voice was steady, though softer than usual. "It's time, Daniel. Do you have a last request?" Most prisoners asked for food, a favorite meal, a drink, or even a cigarette. But Daniel lifted his head slowly, his eyes wet with tears. "Yes," he whispered, "I want to see my dog." Just once before the end, the guards exchanged looks of surprise. They had expected anger, maybe silence, but not this. After a long pause, the warden nodded. "Bring in the dog," he ordered. For the first time in years, a flicker of hope crossed Daniel's face. He wasn't asking for mercy, only for a moment with the one soul who had never judged him. The heavy doors creaked open and the sound of paws echoed against the prison floor. A German shepherd, strong and alert, walked into the hall, led by two guards. The dog's eyes searched the room, and the moment it spotted Daniel, everything changed. The calm steps turned into a frantic pull. The dog barked loudly, straining against the leash, desperate to reach him. The guards struggled to keep control, but the animal's determination was stronger than their grip. Witnesses gasped at the sight. This was no ordinary reunion. Daniel's hands shook as he stood, his chains rattling softly, tears welled in his eyes, and for the first time in years, his hardened expression broke. "Buddy," he whispered, his voice cracking. The dog lunged forward, breaking free, and rushed straight to him. It jumped, pressing its paws on Daniel's chest, licking his face again and again. Daniel dropped to his knees, unable to hold back his sobs. He wrapped his arms around the animal, clinging as if it were the last piece of life he had left. The guards looked at one another, stunned into silence. In that cold, unforgiving place, the bond between a man and his dog was more powerful than walls, bars, or judgment. And in that moment, Daniel wasn't just a prisoner. He was simply a man reunited with his only friend. As Buddy pressed close against him, Daniel's mind drifted back to a different time. He remembered the day he first saw the small puppy, shivering in a cardboard box behind a store. Daniel had been younger then, reckless, but not yet hardened. He had picked up the little creature, promising, "Don't worry, I'll take care of you." But had grown quickly, always by his side. Through good days and bad, the dog never left him. When Daniel came home late and broken, Buddy was there, wagging his tail, offering comfort without judgment. When Daniel had nothing, Buddy was his everything. But along the way, Daniel's choices took him down dark paths. He fell in with the wrong people, made the wrong decisions, and before he knew it, trouble consumed his life. He remembered the night of his arrest. Buddy barking frantically as officers pulled him away in handcuffs, the dog's cries echoed louder in his memory than the sirens. Now kneeling on the cold prison floor, Daniel felt the weight of every mistake pressing down on him. He stroked Buddy's fur with trembling hands, whispering, "I'm sorry. I failed you. I failed myself." Tears streamed down his face as Buddy nuzzled closer as if forgiving him instantly. In that embrace, Daniel felt both the crushing pain of regret and the fragile hope of unconditional love. The reunion left the room in silence, except for Buddy's heavy breathing and Daniel's quiet sobs. For a moment, it felt as though time had stopped. But then something strange happened. Something no one expected. Buddy pulled back suddenly, his ears pointed high, his body tense. His calm tail wagging turned into sharp barks that echoed against the prison walls. Guards instinctively stepped forward, their hands on their belts, uncertain of what was happening. Daniel froze, confused. "Buddy, what's wrong?" he whispered. The dog growled low, circling around Daniel as if protecting him from something unseen. Then, in a shocking turn, Buddy sat firmly by Daniel's side, refusing to move. The guards tried to call the dog away, tugging at his collar, but he wouldn't budge. His eyes stayed locked on Daniel, alert and loyal. One officer muttered, "It's like he's guarding him." Another shook his head in disbelief. "From what?" "From us." Daniel placed a trembling hand on Buddy's head. "Easy, boy, it's all right." But Buddy wouldn't relax. His body was firm, his stance unyielding. It was as if he sensed something no one else did. The room grew tense, the atmosphere heavy. Everyone could see this was no ordinary dog's reaction. Something deeper, something hidden, was unfolding, and it left everyone unsettled. The warden, who had been silent until now, finally stepped forward. His voice was calm, but heavy. "Do you all know why this man was sentenced?" he asked the guards and witnesses. Some nodded, others shook their heads. The warden sighed. He was accused of a robbery that turned violent. A man lost his life that night. Murmurs filled the room. Daniel lowered his head, his chains rattling softly, but Buddy didn't move. Instead, the dog growled again, as if rejecting the words spoken. The warden's eyes narrowed. Strange. The report said the dog was found at the scene that night, but nobody mentioned how he behaved. An old guard stepped forward, his voice shaky. "Sir, I was there. I remember now. The dog didn't attack anyone. He was barking, not at the victim, but at the other men who fled. He stayed by the injured man until the police came." The room went silent. Daniel's eyes widened, his lips trembling. "You mean he was trying to show I wasn't the one?" The guard nodded slowly. The warden looked at Buddy, now sitting calmly by Daniel's side, as if he had waited years for this truth to surface. Suddenly, Daniel's last wish no longer seemed like a simple goodbye. It was a moment of revelation that shook everyone present. The prison hall was silent. Every eye was fixed on Daniel and the loyal dog by his side. For years, people had only seen him as a criminal. But now, with Buddy refusing to leave him, the truth of loyalty and love shone brighter than the cold walls around them. The warden cleared his throat, his face troubled. "Maybe the system was too quick to judge," he said softly. The guards exchanged uneasy glances. Witnesses who had come expecting to see the end of a man's life instead saw a story of loyalty so strong it broke through chains and walls. Daniel buried his face in Buddy's fur, tears streaming down. "You never gave up on me, did you?" he whispered. The dog responded with a gentle nuzzle, as if saying he had been waiting for this moment all along. Though the outcome of Daniel's fate was uncertain, something had already changed forever. The story spread beyond the prison, carried by those who witnessed it. Newspapers wrote about the man's last wish and how his dog revealed a truth words could not. And in the end, Buddy taught everyone a lesson. Judgment may fail, but a dog's loyalty never lies. Sometimes love and truth are seen most clearly through the eyes of an